Columbus, Indiana. Welcome to the Crossroads Sports Radio Show, presented by Scott K. Nichols and State Farm Insurance. And now, here's your hosts, and Jonathan Birdsong.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Crossroads Sports Radio, episode number 265. 265, I'm your host, Brandon Reef. I'll be joined momentarily by my co-host, Jonathan Birdsong. Tonight, folks, we got NFL coming back. Colts had their first preseason game, so we'll talk little thoughts on the Colts, some news around notes around the NFL. College football, the polls are out. The first polls of the year are out, so we'll talk a little college football polls. NBA, talk a little NBA. Let me tell you this, if you haven't heard this before. James Harden is not happy. Tell me if you've heard that one before, folks. We're gonna talk this whole James Harden thing. I've got a couple documentaries that I've watched lately on Netflix for sports. A couple of good ones that you're gonna want to check out. So we'll talk that more. Looking forward to that. But as always, I can't do this show by myself. I've got my co-host Jonathan Birdsong. JB, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday, man. Good to be back on the Crossroads Sports Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Getting ready to chop it up, man. I know we got a lot of football to talk about and cover. But I know, as I kind of listened in, when, you know what I'm saying, on the ride in, I heard you trying to chime in about James Harden. We'll get into all that as well. You know what I'm saying? I got some stuff about FIBA. There was some exhibition games, you know what I mean? Hey, Brandon, if you can't get overhyped about preseason, exhibition for the FIBA game, man, what can't you get overhyped about? But, no. This is
training camp
came out of that as well. Right. Well, hey, man, shout out to Reggie, man. But listen, man, no. In all seriousness, man, we got a little bit to talk about. And, again, man, so, let's kick it off.
Yeah, absolutely. Indianapolis Colts, John, first preseason game up in Buffalo. They lose 23-19 in their preseason opener. Anthony God Richardson, as most Colts fans would like to call him right now, debuted, went out 7 of 12, 67 yards. First drive of the game, John, third class. Guess what happened? Interception. The chosen one, the king, his airness, whatever you want to call him, the next anointed one. Not a great debut. Gardner Minshew had a better performance, I thought personally, but struggles for Anthony Richardson to start. It was named today. Shane Steichen said Anthony Richardson is going to be week 1 starter. Not a shocking revelation for that to be. They're going to go ahead and start that process now. But as I was talking with people over the weekend, John, a lot of them are like, they're kind of in my boat where you're not too sure of Anthony Richardson, as I said a few weeks ago, and even we had Justin Fox on. My concern with Anthony Richardson, they're like, well, you want to see how he's different when he gets in front of NFL talent. He's going to get better. Hello, do we not remember the SEC has more NFL talent than anybody else, another league in college football? This is also the same Anthony Richardson last year that lost to Vanderbilt. Did we forget about that? Vanderbilt football? We lost to Vanderbilt football. Same Richardson. I can bring up his stat. I can keep bringing up his stat. You want to talk stats for the training camp? But
the collegiate stats don't really.
And yeah, it's going to take time for the kid, and he is a kid because he's way younger than us. But these Colts fans, man, that still think this guy is the Lord and Savior, I think you're going to see sadly mistaken. This dude, let me bring up the year.
Not this year. If you want to do that, so that's what I kind of look at it, Brandon. I look at it with frustrating eyes and ears, man, because when I look at him, he looks like a young, if we could put in basketball terms, doesn't he kind of remind you of like, hey, man, with Jonathan Bender when he turns that corner?
Yeah.
But unfortunately, with Jonathan Bender, but there was other guys that turned Al Harrington turned the corner, you know what I mean? Jermaine O'Neal, you know what I mean? But this is where he's a developmental kind of quarterback. It's kind of where we're at with him. He's got some Tebow-esque numbers in his first debut, man. You know what I'm saying? if the accuracy is not there, so the criticism is warranted in that regard. Does he got some wiggle? Can he extend the play? Absolutely. Does he know the playbook? Absolutely. You don't have to. There's some things you don't necessarily have to worry about. But to be a quarterback, the main thing you have to be worried about is the accuracy. And you know what I'm saying? I guess or somebody else took blame for the blocking. You know what I'm saying? They weren't blocking running back or whatever at the time. He took the blame, saying he didn't know he was supposed to, go on the left and he went right, whatever the case may be that day. But like at the end of the day, then Richardson still has to throw the ball away. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the frustrating, and like I said, to add this frustrating part is the other side with the coach, the drama that is Jonathan Taylor, because if you're telling your fan base that Anthony Richardson is going to be the starter week day one, and they told us day one, week one, then you would expect the struggle bus kind of coach team where, okay, how much are you really going to put blame on the offensive line this year? How much blame are you going to put on the defensive line when the quarterback is constantly going 3 and out? Because that's what it's kind of going to be. In the first year, that kid, and again, somebody's going to say, well, you don't see one preseason game. I mean, we've seen enough to understand that is kind of a developmental kind of guy. Got a lot of speed on it. That's really what you like. And you like the fastball. And he got a deep ball. But the accuracy, like, man, he needs Brett Favre-like accuracy. And he don't have it right now.
Yeah. Yeah, this is also, everybody loved this Anthony Richardson. Yeah, they went out and beat Utah first game of the season, 29-26. Then they decided to lose their next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of their last.
What you didn't pull the SEC stats?
Oh, I got them right here, man. I got them right here. Let me show you your stats here, Mr. Anthony Richardson. Let's see. He played 12 games last year, 53% completion percentage. Not sure if that's good or not. 17 touchdowns, 9 picks, John. Let's see here. He was 9th in the SEC in passing attempts, 10th in yards. He was 17th. Sorry, not 17th. He was number 9th out of 14 teams in passing touchdowns. And he threw the fourth most interceptions in the SEC last year with 9. Yeah, the dude, it's a struggle, but I don't want to be hearing people saying, man, this guy's it. This guy's the, John, I heard the two words this past week before this game. I heard SB. And it's that last game of the year. I heard that from Colts fans. I had to clean my ears out. I hear what I thought I heard with this. It's gonna take some time. You don't even know if this is the dude.
So what is it? So what is all right? Let's talk hypotheticals real quick. Yeah. All right. So if this kid doesn't flash the way you want him to flash,
Caleb Williams,
what do you do next year? Because everybody in the mother around here wants Marvin Harrison Jr. and that would be like glorious. But like if you don't have quarterback answer, Marvin Harrison Jr. is not going to really, it'll upgrade your offense. But like this other quarterback that me and you graded higher, you know what I'm saying? Even though they still in college, that he was. I thought Anthony Richardson. I'm not going to be over clear. I think Anthony Richardson played NFL football. Okay, Brandon. I'm saying this is a project in the relationship.
Right.
You got to figure out what he really. You know what I'm saying? But if you get next year, let's say the Colts finish, they win 5 games, 6 games, whatever, right? And you get to next year and you're looking at what you said. Okay, the kid from USC, the other kid from North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Whoever, there's going to be another little dark horse that pops up out of that one of these daggone Texas teams. I know, that daggone dude from Texas, himself. You know what I'm saying? So there's going to be better talent out there. So, man, it's kind of like what the coach is saying, man. Go out there and see what you can do, man. Why try to, internally, not like, no, that you can win So Gardner Minshew starting. Where does that put you back in, Brandon? 2 more games? And what did I say, 6? And now you won 8 games, 9 games?
Right.
Playing that game. So, like, don't play that game. Because, like, winning 9 games kind of takes you out of those lotteries. You know what I'm saying? Content to get one of those top 4 or 5 quarterbacks that's going to come out next year. So, I don't know, man. The Colts, this is what they got, man. You have to – if you're a fan, though, Brandon, you know you kind of got to support it. I kind of see the positives in this game. But unfortunately, right now, there's a whole lot more negatives.
I call it a disrespect for people to compare Anthony Richardson to Cam Newton. I think it's 100% disrespectful to Cam Newton.
I would agree with that, man. Just because he's about to say he wasn't the same height, maybe the same build. Cam Newton, what he did at Auburn was, you know what I'm saying? I like he's blind in speed. And he can throw, you know what I mean?
Those words are loud there, JB.
Any one game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, man. I know it's crazy, dude. But yeah, man. Anthony Richardson, not yet, man. Not yet.
Okay.
Can't do not yet.
We're the 4th winningest franchise in the league since 2000. All right, that means in the upper quartile of winners, we're in the top quartile of that upper quartile.
And that's rare air, John, to be in that upper quartile. For them.
You better leave Brother Jimmy alone, man. And I want to know, he said the top 4. I don't know, man. Pittsburgh got to be in the top 4 they damn self. Pittsburgh, Green Bay.
Top 4 what?
I don't know. Go back. He said the top 4 since 2000.
The
Colts.
Let's play it one more time.
He said that. I was like, man,
we're the 4th winningest franchise in the league since 2000.
Yeah.
All right, that means in the upper quartile of winners, we're in the top quartile of that upper quartile.
No, man. Somebody needs to check that math, bro.
That's Steelers, Patriots,
nobody.
Packers.
He said since 2000.
Yeah. Packers have been good. Steelers have been good. Patriots have been good.
Right. He considered Andrew Luck years, Peyton Manning.
Who?
But there was like Philip. He's considered Andrew Luck and Peyton Manning.
I don't know that. Years. First one is Andrew somebody.
Oh man, damn!
You're asking me dumb questions, guys. Really dumb questions. Jesus.
You didn't cast out Andrew Luck.
Yeah, he's done. It's over. Jonathan Taylor, John. Everybody's like, oh my God, Jonathan Taylor's back. He's back to camp today in Westfield. All right, he still feels the same. Like nothing's changed, people.
He's still pissy. Yeah,
I think he may have a hold in instead of a hold out. Now, Jonathan Jacobs is doing a hold out, but I think Jonathan Taylor does a hold in. Zach Martin, it works for him with Dallas because he was getting fined with all the practices he missed up to about $1 million.
Right.
And he just signed his extension and has $8 million guaranteed. Well, that doesn't take a math position to say that was the right move for him to do. So,
right.
But
he didn't want to go. He didn't want to play anywhere else either.
Yeah.
So
let me ask you this:
that as well. Yeah.
How does it for you? What's your thought process? We had the running backs kind of go yesterday. Dalvin Cook signs with the Jets. Zeke gets all the hair off. How does those signings, was it $7 million and $8 million, I think, 1-year deals for each person?
Yeah, I think, Dalvin signed for like 8.8.
How does that play into the Jonathan Taylor saga? Does that make it worse for him, in your opinion, or does that help his case? Because I think it hurts it.
I think it hurts it as well, man. So, like, either you sign, like, the NFL ain't gonna budge. It looks like you signed this $11 million, $12 million, you know what I'm saying, franchise tag. And that's kind of where they're going with the run. That's unfortunate, man. That's kind of bad business, is it not? So, like, the last paid running back, they got a multi-year deal with the homie down in Tennessee. That's it. Nobody else can get a multi-year deal. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you're not going to sign them to running back for 6 years, 7 years, but we also understand that there's an important role that running backs play. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you know, Dalvin Cook, there wouldn't have been so much of it was between the Jets and Miami, where he wanted to go. You know what I mean? Yeah. And potentially those deals with him on either one of those things could affect, because the tipping point of their chances to win the AFC because let's be honest. There's and like Patrick Mahomes, they got it on cruise control, right? And at least in their mind, you know what I mean. As far as everybody being 100% and managing through the season, they got it on cruise control. And like man, outside of a hot Cincinnati that got all these things clicking, ain't no who can beat, who can stand up. Like you gotta have weapons, you gotta have offense out there. So the Jets with Dalvin Cook. You know what I'm saying? They said Aaron Rodgers gave up some money, whatever, I don't know. But like, you know what I'm saying, with that defense, they have a competent backup in the kid Wilson from last year. You know what I'm saying? I think the Jets are serious, but they got a lot of teams in front of them that are like serious as well. So you have to have a run game to support your offense. The Jets. With that picking him up, man, they count, and that doesn't necessarily solidify them as like dominant people that they're gonna win the East by any means because still Buffalo is still there. You know what I'm saying? And it's probably gonna be a dogfight between Miami, between everybody in the East. It's gonna be a dogfight just to get out of the East. So like no, I tip my hat to the signing. But like you said, yeah, it just kind of hurts Jonathan Taylor's chances of getting a multi-year deal.
Just to say, Najee Harris from my Steelers, he'll be a free agent in 2025. He's got 2 years left. He's making 1.8 this year and then 2.4. If you do the evaluation on this application, I call it overthecap.com. If you go to overthecap.com, they do evaluations and based on how it was last year, last season, and all that. Right now, they have him valued at $8.5 million. That Najee's next contract should be around $8.5 million per year.
Okay.
And his.
That's a big jump up. That's a big jump up in pay.
Yeah.
Right, going from 1.5, like you know what I'm saying, to 8. But it's just like we in this world of guarantees, the NFL contracts aren't even guaranteed, even on a 1 year. You know what I mean?
Right.
So. Well, I think the franchise tag is guaranteed.
Yes,
I do believe, but like these other deals aren't necessarily even guaranteed themselves. So, running back, we all know in the collective, but the next, collective bargaining agreement is going to be a big change. The players are going to want, a little bit more from that player position. But yeah,
so the Colts,
I think not going to hear it good. You know what I mean?
So the Colts have $19 million in cap space currently right now. $19 million cap. John, they have $24 million. Actually, let me take that back. They have $25 million in dead money. So, like, they ain't going to get it back, and it's tied up for the next couple of years in dead money. Can you name me the 4 people that
I know
are into this $25 million?
Well, I wish the homie Dan Dodgers would call in, man. This is the only time me and him going to agree. One of them got to be Andrew Luck. Philip Rivers.
Nope.
Carson Wentz.
No.
Man.
Keep going.
I know I'm forgetting who am I forgetting, man? Quarterback. Who am I forgetting, man? Not if it ain't Luck, it ain't Rivers.
Matty
it ain't
Ice.
Wentz. Is it that? Oh my goodness, Matty Ice. They're still paying him.
$18 million to Matty Ice this year.
Right. That's right. Because he didn't retire.
Naheem Hines, $3 million. Stephon Gilmore, $2 million. Nick Foles, 1.5. Yeah, it's
the one with Matty Ice was like. So again, man, that kind of points back to management, not necessarily the play on the field. What the F? And I said F. Were they trading for Matty Ice? I mean, I was like, nah, man. Some people were like, yeah, man, he can turn back time. Oh shit, no, he can't. You know what I mean? Atlanta, what are they trading for? Was it a second rounder? Maybe. Or something? I can't remember what they didn't trade, but like because he's not crazy contractually, he didn't retire.
Right.
Man, the Colts, man, they fuzzed that all up. You should have used Rich better off, you know what I'm saying, getting a rookie quarterback last year. You know what, man? Athletically, Anthony Richardson is obviously better than what's the homie's name down in Atlanta? They played for Cincinnati.
Desmond Ridder?
Oh my goodness, Ritter. Remember when the Colts had the opportunity to draft him, particularly in the second round or third round, and then the draft that he came out, and it was like, nah, man. And who they get? They ended up going after. Was that the same year that Quiddy Pay came out? I think
one more. I think we came out the year before.
Okay, but still, they didn't draft a quarterback, and you needed one. So, I would.
As of right now, the Colts have $70 million in cap next year.
In quarterback.
They have $70 million cap next year.
So
only 51 players are under contract.
The quarterback?
I don't know. 51 under contract. In 2025, you have 154 mil. You only have 34 players under contract. And 3 years from now, 231 million. You only have 15 players on contract. If that's not a rebuild, where you're just trying to put some people on short contracts to see what sticks.
Right. Right. You see the writing on the wall, y'all.
Your base salary.
Paying the picture for you, man.
So they have 76 million in total cap in 3 years. Okay. A third of that money is the base salary for Shaquille Leonard.
Okay.
22.
Wow.
Quentin Nelson at 16 million.
Well, it also doesn't take, like, the cap's going to go up, but, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, it'll still be a bit of still be a problem. Still, it ain't going to go up that much where that's still going to have to be answered for.
Right.
But if he bounces back, granted, it's okay, right? If he bounces back.
He looked slow out there when I was out there. I don't know. I didn't see how he did Sunday or Saturday against the Bills. If he played. He probably didn't play.
Yeah, I didn't. Right. I mean, all eyes was on Anthony Richardson in the offense, man. And you know what I'm saying? That wide out still ain't got a contract, man. I ain't gonna start nothing. Not gonna start those quick.
You're ready to start it. You're not gonna stop.
Hey, John, man, what you think? Go ahead.
I was just saying, speaking on NFL, I watched that Johnny Manziel documentary on Untold on Netflix. Bro, if you haven't seen that, holy shit. I will say holy shit. Holy shit, that was a good documentary with Manziel. He was on there just talking about his demons, his trouble, and leading up to the draft and how he had to have a fourth-string quarterback take his piss test for him, and then he fell off the wagon the week before coming to Indianapolis for the combine.
Oh, my God.
And actually, and here's a true story. I was at one point in the same elevator going from the first floor to the second floor with me, one of my employees, Johnny Manziel, and Snoop Dogg. Think about that foursome that was in the elevator, and Johnny's agent, which really was his college buddy or his high school buddy. I still remember it clearly that there's Manziel on one side of me and there's Snoop on the other. Wild moment. But
I bet.
Dude, crazy, but such a good documentary. And then talks about his bipolarness. I mean, one night he went out on a weekend bender from after his Cleveland ran, and 15 mil on a weekend bender spent.
And you ain't even like Michael Jordan,
right?
You ain't even Allen Iverson.
Talked about then he talked about the scheme they did for signing autographs and the money and stuff just being 15 million or 250,000 just underneath the mattress in the hotel room. Just wild stories. Oh, wow. So if you get a chance, Untold on Netflix, Johnny Manziel story. It's about an hour and 20 minutes long. Really, really good. There's a new one I'm going to watch tonight. It's the Balco, Barry Bonds, and the guy that went to jail, the guy that shot steroids.
You said Barry Bonds and controversy. I'm in it.
Yeah.
You said Barry Bonds and controversy. I'm in it. So, that shit drives me crazy. Balco drove, like, when that came out back in the day, drove me nuts, man.
Yeah. So that doc one just came out this week on there. And then, John, here's my favorite one coming out this fall. It's the documentary on the 2006 or 2007 Florida Gators with Tebow, Aaron Hernandez, Urban Meyer, that Riley Cooper, that entire squad that's been famous for good and bad things. That's going to be a good one. That's the last one they're putting out this year.
This is Tim Tebow with the speech?
Yeah. And Aaron Hernandez that killed the guy while he was in school and it got hidden.
Oh,
Allegedly.
Damn. I didn't know that.
Dude, that's coming out. I just saw the trailer for it the other night. Holy cow. Looks good. I think Will Dempsey is on that team.
I wanted to get back on the pro tip, man, because those, you know what I'm saying, everybody knows Brandon Reese is a Steelers fan. You check 2 episodes ago, man, him and Justin Tucker, Ravens fan, bro, you know what I'm saying, Spurs are moving. But like, no, man, I wanted to get you a little of assessment on the Steelers. I know they beat the Bucks. They beat Tampa over the weekend. And if you know what I'm saying, that's kind of like a doormat anyway. I think Tampa's gonna be a doormat. You know what I'm saying, from one loss anyway. But like, what was some of your kind of thoughts? Because I know people are like, hey man, you know, this is Kenny Pickett, you know what I'm saying, this is Kenny Pickett's team now, or at least, you know what I'm saying, under center. So I kind of just wanted, you know, this is your assessment of maybe training camp and like game 1.
I think we had quarterback controversy. No, I'm kidding. Mason Rudolph looked good.
Stop it.
7 of 12, 130 yards himself. You know, Mitch only threw 4 passes, threw a nasty pick, but overall I was happy. I mean, first possession, Steelers going out and passing. They went pass, run to start, and it wasn't a check down passes. So that's at least a little promising in the preseason. They took on a shitty Tampa Bay team that has Baker Mayfield, John Wolford, and Kyle Trask, 3 quarterbacks. So not too worried about that. But overall, you know, running wise, there was no Najee for the week. But, you know, they had McFarland back there with Warren. Warren's going to be a huge battle aspect. But Calvin Austin, the third, huge touchdown, that big touchdown catch. He's back from injury. I think he's going to be really good. George Pickens, dude. George Pickens doing George Pickens things. How many times last year, and I posted on Twitter, when you got the Pickett to Pickens touchdown, and it happened again the other night. I'm anxious to see how the defense does. Once they get everybody kind of in there, they obviously went and got an offensive tackle. He's not starting. He's not in he's on the second team depth chart, so we'll see how he adapts there. But you know, on defense, you've got Joey Porter Jr. out there. I don't think he played. Yeah, he didn't play that game. I watched the first half of it before I went to dinner. But you also have Patrick Peterson. Patrick Peterson was a huge add to this program. And as well as, I don't think enough people are talking about the pickup they just had about a week and a half ago with Quan Alexander, picking him up. I think that was a huge pickup there. This team is good. This defense is going to go as far as a healthy TJ Watt will let them. If they have a healthy TJ Watt this year, they'll go far.
Well, let me ask you this. We all know this Pittsburgh Steelers, and I know what Reggie listening to this, man, because he's a hater. And there's not a whole lot of haters of the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. If you look up on any daggone likable sports franchises, the Pittsburgh Steelers are you know what I'm saying, are probably in the top 10 of any, you know, whether it's basketball, football, whatever. But we all know the Pittsburgh Steelers draft well. They don't miss too much on their draft. They develop well. So even if it is like a second, third, fourth, you know, whatever round guy, like they, you know what I'm saying, it's always kind of propped up. And don't you, I mean, I know you remember Vance McDonald. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? That was a tight end they had for a short time.
Yeah.
That kind of showed some explosion, man. But what do you see? So, like, where do you can the team get to the playoffs?
Yeah, I mean, they won the last 7 in a row with him last year. I think they are, from what Tomlin said, they're working their way there. It's little goals at a time, consistency, playing hard. I think you first secure your winning season again, like you did last year, which is what, the 18th straight winning season in the NFL. I mean, let's talk about dominance. You want to talk about dominance? I think you start with there, and I think if you get there, you're going to put yourself like they had last year in that position to go to the playoffs. You got to think, John, they were 1 loss away from having somebody else lose on week 18. If they would have lost, the Steelers won, they were going to get in. So I do think they have it. Now, it's in a tough AFC, absolutely. But we've seen teams in the past that have should be there, and an injury here, an injury there, and they don't. It would not. I would not be surprised if they make the playoffs, John, but it would not shock me if it's going to be another year. It wouldn't shock me. So I told you last year I went into it with Kenny, and I was open-minded. We're going to take some losses, and then we got hot on that streak, and I was like, here we go. They're reeling me in. This year I'm going to start off the same way. Let's see how we do. They got a tough first week. I mean, they take on the 49ers week 1. So that's not going to be an easy
big game.
That's
kind of some of their criticism. That's kind of some of their criticism that the Steelers win. Like, can they win a big game?
Yeah. So they got they go 49 at home against the 49ers, which that's the good thing. It's at home. Also, they lost Corey Trice, Purdue cornerback, lost him to a torn ACL a week and a half ago in practice. So, but they home against the 49ers and they're home against the Browns. They go to the Raiders. They go to the Texans. If that doesn't at least get you a 3-1 start,
right,
I'll be a little concerned with that. And then they take on the Ravens at home, those scumbags. So, they come to town. But look at the schedule, John. Tell me how many games you're scared of in this schedule this year. 49ers, home against the Browns, at the Raiders, at the Texans, home against the Ravens, at the Rams, home against Jags, home against Titans, home against Packers, at the Browns, at the Bengals, home against the Cardinals, home against the Patriots, at the Colts, home with the Bengals, at Seattle, at Baltimore. I see a winning schedule there. I see a lot.
You see a winning schedule there. Just because we all know there's going to be some quarterback controversy in and probably starting like week 2, week 3.
Right.
You said home. Who was so it was, go through that week 4 or 5 one more time.
Yeah, so home 49ers, home Browns, at the Raiders, at the Texans, and then here they got 3. They got 3 home coming up. They go then Ravens, at the Rams, and then they go home against the Jags, home against the Titans, home against the Packers.
Well, that's going to be a big game. That's going to be a big, more heavy pressurized game for the Jaguars to go on the road to win Pittsburgh.
It'll be a little chilly. Maybe it's late October.
But like against Texas, it ain't like this much. Like it ain't necessarily like C.J. Stroud like wowed anybody himself. So that team is, you know what I'm talking about, 2 man right now, man. I just wanted to get kind of some of your thoughts on the Steelers, man. As you being, the sports analyst that you are.
Yeah.
Taking out that fandom.
I do want to say, give me 1 second real quick. Reggie's brother, Decott, says on Facebook, easiest schedule in the league. Oh, well, actually, it's not. It's the 8th easiest. And you know what the number 3 easiest schedule in the league is this year? It's your brother's Indianapolis Colts. That's who has the 3rd easiest schedule. And they may still not even get 5 wins or 6.
I said 6. I'm trying to speak into existence. Where does it have the Detroit Lions? You know what I'm saying?
Detroit Lions. They have the 11th easiest schedule. Do you want to know who has the hardest?
The stars are lying for Detroit. They got to get to the playoffs. Who has the hardest?
The New England.
I'm going to wager
New England Patriots.
Oh man.
The top 5 hardest are all AFC teams.
They gave Bill Belichick. This is last year, ain't it?
5. Patriots are 1. Raiders are 2. Dolphins are 3. Bills are 4, and Chiefs are 5. The 5 hardest this year.
That's a little big, man. The schedule makers gave the Chiefs. Come on, man. That's not fair.
They don't like the future Hall of Famer, apparently.
Well, no. I think they should have had a hard schedule, but they're the 5th hardest. You trying to take off them back to the Super Bowl. That's what I'm trying to say.
Let me move over from college football to the pros real quick. Give me 1 second.
You mean from the pros to college?
Yeah. Give me 1 second here. Let me.
Copyright. Yeah.
Yep. didn't play the whole 10 seconds, so we're good there. I got that, but then I need to play this.
Mm-mm.
The bagpipes are coming
It
back
ain't
out.
gone yet, man.
Huh?
It ain't gone yet. You talking about the pack?
No. I got to give this to a team, John. The
Okay.
the week 1 top 25 AP poll came out, and I thought there was a natural disaster happening. And I know we're dealing with one that I don't want to poke fun of, and it's serious what's going on out there in Maui.
Right.
But
Right.
I'm worried for the state, the Commonwealth, the people of Alabama and Tuscaloosa.
What?
Alabama, John. There's people jumping off the roofs, jumping out of office buildings. There's people running out in traffic out there. John, they are hurting. And they're hurting because that first poll came out and their beloved Alabama Crimson Tide, John, are number 4
Oh, wow.
in the AP poll. Not even 1, not 2, not 3. Like LeBron would say, 4th. They're not even the 3rd best team in the SEC.
Well, they got to figure out their quarterback play. They'll have competent quarterback play this year, but they don't have elite quarterback play this year at all.
I'm worried for Alabama fans, John. This is not the way you want to start the season. It's just you just don't want to start with number 4 when you're supposed to be when Daddy's not going to be happy. Daddy Nick is not going to be happy. But the question will be, what will the excuse be? What will the Alabama Crimson Tide excuse be this year? Because we have a friend of ours that he always is the middleman. We call him Middleman D.
Oh, wow.
But I just want to let you know I'm concerned for the Alabama team.
Who's the I throw it back and say who's the clear cut number 1?
Georgia.
I mean, I know who number 1 is. You know what I'm saying? There's a clear. There are, but we haven't necessarily seen the offense. They have revamped offense. So we haven't necessarily. I mean, we'll see it. Ball State's gonna get an eye full of it.
Yep.
Ball State football coming up pretty soon. So I don't necessarily, and quite honestly, man, I don't necessarily see that somebody a litmus test for Georgia at all. But we got to see what that offense kind of looks like. We kind of. I think LSU has a better week 1, week 2 matchup.
They play Florida. Sorry, they don't play Florida. They play. Damn it! Who does LSU play week 1? I just saw it a second ago.
Just because they have a veteran team and they don't necessarily they didn't have a whole lot of changeover.
They play Florida State week 1. LSU does 5 versus 8.
Yeah, we know Florida State's pissy because they only getting $30 million.
But I mean, John, week 1, Alabama's got Middle Tennessee State now, so don't.
Memphis State. You said Memphis State.
Middle Tennessee, John. I mean, we got LSU playing Florida State, but Alabama, they got to get their cupcakes in because they ain't gonna be able to get them in here in a couple of years.
I'm always told, Brandon, if you're going to get some trouble with the SEC folks, man, once again, you know what I'm saying, the blog talk will start acting up. You can't talk bad about them cupcake schedule they give Alabama.
Oh, baby. They got Chattanooga on that schedule this year.
Alabama, but listen, man, Alabama come January, it's always like they always come to play. Like, damn, man, Michigan out here is sharper and, they get going against Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? Michigan's out here. Ohio State's out here. Like, week 1, game 1. Alabama's open up against Chattanooga. I get the frustration. I get what the criticism is frustrated, but like, man, back in, once it comes time to play, December, they're there. Hello?
We've got an Alabama caller on the line.
Uh-oh. Bring him on in. You got us in trouble, man.
Come on, Nick Saban Jr.
I'm not going to take this. I'm not going to take this abuse. See, I usually start off by saying, "Hey guys, how y'all doing?" But at this point, you're trying to rattle me a little bit. So I'm gonna break some things down for you, okay? Jonathan, is funny, right? You said they've got to figure this quarterback position out. They have no idea what's going on. and you look at the ratings, they're number 4.
Ugh,
that should tell you all
disgusting.
you need to know about the talent level there. But here's the deal: I was hoping they'd be out of the top 10. That was my hope.
What?
Because it's such peril, this quarterback position. It's such peril. As I told y'all, my guy, who I'm sticking with, is Jalen. That's period, point blank. I was sticking with Jalen in January, February, March, April, and now it's August. I'm still saying the same thing. He gives them the best opportunity to win. You can say what we want about his accuracy, right? In college football, your accuracy doesn't matter as much as it is in NFL. What matters is that 4.29 speed that he has, right? Getting out of bad plays. We'll see what happens. Hopefully he wins the job, and we'll see what happens. But with that said, the reason why they've got to play those Tennessee, Chattanooga teams, because then when you get to the SEC, there are no other than Vanderbilt.
Wait a minute.
You know, that's pretty much it. Vandy is your company. Yeah, Missouri is, but they don't play Missouri every year anyway. I'm talking about
Missouri. I wouldn't say Missouri's a cupcake, but like every year Missouri ain't always good.
Well, right, they're okay. Okay at best, right?
Yeah.
But they're no Indiana, right? When it comes to football, right? But my point being is you gotta get those up in, because when you get to the SEC play, it's all work. And this is a lot of this. Here's the thing: there's a lot of pride to have when you can go out there and say everybody gives you their best. There's not one team, not one player that says I'm not giving 8,000%. That's not a compliment.
At Alabama, you're right. Right, at Alabama and
I love it because what it does, iron sharpens iron, right? So you see that, and you see these guys. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. No, I got it. I want you to put your commissioner hat on. You're not commissioner hat, but you're president of AD, right? And your school is IU. Or no, I won't say IU. That'd be picking on. You're a Big Ten school that isn't necessarily known for football. Not non-Big Ten school.
You're right.
Midwest. Yeah. Well, I wanted to say
a middling school. A middling school is what you're saying.
Right. What do you need to do to improve your football? Like, I mean, other than like you gotta go out here and pay.
To me, Jonathan, it's simple. And I thought we had this conversation, but maybe I had it privately at work or something. But the answer is NIL, man. Because you're not going to get players to come to Bloomington. You're not going to get players to come to Nebraska. You're not going to get players to come to Rutgers. Well, if the money talks,
is a different animal.
We're talking football, right? We're talking football. So the ship is sailed for Nebraska, right? So your
they got wonderful facilities. Nebraska got wonderful facilities. That's the one thing they got going for.
JB. Everyone in the next 5 years is going to have a wonderful facility. So there's got to be something different, right? So what's different is your money. You got to do what Kentucky did on the east side of Louisville at the Embassy Suite there.
They did.
I mean,
Kentucky upgraded. I forget Kentucky. Well, Kentucky. Okay, let's put the Kentucky teams in the last 3 years in the Big Ten. Could they feel in the middle part of the Big Ten?
They could.
But they kind of fall in that Michigan State kind of category. And that's not no disrespect.
You're not going to, somebody's got to lose, right? Every week. Somebody's got to lose. And so if there's no shame in the Big Ten, in my opinion, if you win 7 games, 8 games a year, as a Big Ten team, as a middling team.
Right. If I'm a head coach and I'm a middling football program where I'm at a mid-major or at a big-time program, I hear you. I feel you. You do. But I don't necessarily think the money kind of flows through some of those programs like that. But
I'm with you. That's why you got
my secondary thing. My secondary thing was like you got to schedule South teams. You got to schedule the South teams and do a home and home with them.
And you got to see players out there playing. You know, like the band.
Problem is, John, the South teams don't want to come north.
Right.
They just had Auburn last year. May have been the first South team to come north in 8 years.
Someone's playing Nebraska or Wisconsin. I can't remember who it is. From the South, one of those schools is playing a Southern school. I think it's a school from the SEC, if I remember right, Nebraska or Wisconsin or Iowa. One of those schools is playing an SEC team, school in a home and home. But to your point, you got to get eyes on it, right? Because you got to get those guys who aren't good enough to play at Bama, LSU, Georgia, right? Those are the guys you got to go out. You can't go after the 5-star, 5th-rated defensive end in the country. Don't waste your time. But he's probably got a guy on his team that has something to prove. Your problem is, though, after 1 year, if he sees there's an opportunity, if he plays well, guess what happens? Somebody's knocking on his door with a brown sack. Well, not anymore. Well, not a brown sack anymore. It's not, you don't have to do it, but you know what I'm saying, right? So that's your challenge. But to your point, JB, you got to get down there and let people see you. You got to let them see you play, right? If you don't do that's your pain point, right? But again, and I said, Brandon, on your post, I think one of the most worthless, and honestly, one of the most worthless polls is the NCAA football poll in August.
Yeah,
I just they don't. These are dart shots, man. Again,
needs to be like week 5. First poll should be week 5.
Yeah, and to that point, right? We talked, we give Alabama hell, but think about the cachet. You're talking about the number 4 ranked team when you don't even know who the quarterback is. Let alone you don't know who the top running back is going to be. You don't know who your left tackle is going to be, and you're 4 in the country. That just tells you about cachet. But I'm going to tell you, it's going to be interesting November. That's where the money's going to be made in November, right? And we'll see what happens. But I did want to hit too on the in-season tournament. I got my email on the in-season tournament. I haven't got a take on you guys about the in-season tournament. I think it's terrible, man. I think it's a sham. I think it's a scam. I think they're desperate to try to bring eyes to something. When you start being so gimmicky, it's just like when I was in high school. When you try to do things that you're not used to doing, that means you're desperate. You try something that you're not, and to me, I think the NBA is desperate. All the flopping, all the arguing.
I'm gonna have to go the other way with you, man. I don't think it's desperation. They have, here's the thing though, DK and Brandon. The network runs the NBA, or vice versa, together. So the network wants content. They pump it out to the United States. They pump it out to Canada, and as we all know, in people, like the world loves basketball. You know what I mean? So
that's the gimmick, though. That's the gimmick.
Well,
that's my point.
Well, it's not just a national audience. It's not just a national.
It's worldwide. It's the basketball.
So you have to all those West Coast games that me and you be taking a nap on. Oh, I'm just getting honest. Yeah. I can't watch everywhere. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? No. But in some of those games, man, they get big ratings out there in the Pacific, in that time zone.
Pacific Northwest and
they get big ratings. I know. We gonna go down a war room. We talking about Daryl Morey and James Harden. They get big ratings in China. They do.
It's but listen, I know a lot of people clown us about the WWE. Oh, speaking of that, real quick, my guy did have surgery, man. Mud flaps on the shelf, man. He's doing therapy twice a week, man. So I'll keep you guys updated on his status. It was WWE. What I was going to say though, is becoming a WWE event. It's sort of like NWO, right? We gotta find stuff, man. You're flailing, right? I mean, think about this. WCW, that was their home run shot. That was their home run shot. And I'm just saying, think
in-season tournament. It's the only thing that I don't like about it is that it takes away a home game away from you don't play a home game.
We got two this year. We got Cleveland, and it was November 3rd, and the other one is
Detroit.
I think I want to say November 11th or something like that. I'm looking now because I just got it.
I think it's Detroit.
It's to build up. It's to help build up fan interest in the early part of the season. I engage fans who say I don't watch NBA basketball until after Christmas. I'm like, man, I'm on NBA basketball week 1. You know what I'm saying? If it's Halloween, whatever. You know what I mean? So they learned a lot. They learned a lot that they're gonna bubble when they had the bubble, and
Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
So now you have a TV product out in Las Vegas. You're going to charge tickets. You're going to charge commercialism for Crest and Wheaties and everybody else, Kellogg's, and Crossroads Sports, whoever it might be, Scott K. Nicholls, State Farm Insurance, whoever it might be. You're going to charge for that. People going to watch it because
November 3rd.
What was the Hall of Fame game? It netted 6 million people. The Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame game.
But the NFL because we're thirsty for football, though, man. We're dying. We can't wait. We can't wait. Think about it. We've had the doldrums since draft day, right? We've had the doldrums. And football is we can talk about baseball being America's pastime. It may have been for the old guys who were in black and white. But football is the American pastime. Now, you can pick one with fantasy, with all of this going on. Football is the pastime right now. And we've been starving since draft day, man. That's why you got people watching a Hall of Fame game. That's why you got people going out to Grand Park to watch two teams.
It's going to draw viewership and all those things, man. And
curiosity.
Yeah, it's going to draw curiosity. Absolutely. As they adopt a European style. That's what it is. It's a European style model. That's what they do.
But that's just the model. The play isn't that, right? Because you're going to still see a bunch of guys mad at the world for not getting a foul call. That's what's turning people away, man. The drama.
Right.
I mean, why do you think they say we're going to institute a flopping rule, talking about it, and if you flop, you're going to get a technical, and you don't lose. Man, that tells you right there, people are tired.
Well, Uncle Red started it, or you know what I'm saying, and Mom Ginobili perfected it, and then like now LeBron James has adopted it. And James Harden,
you can't have the best player in the league doing that though. You can't. Reggie wasn't even realistic. Let's be honest. Other than folks here in Indianapolis, he wasn't even the best at 13 All-Pro. I know he made it one time, I think, if I remember right. But my point is, you can't have supposedly your best player, Harden, LeBron. You can't have those guys doing that. You lose respect. And then when you got a guy like LeBron that I got to learn how to flop, you're going to tell me he hasn't seen the flop compilations that are on there for him?
They're everywhere.
Well, now we got your man. I'm kind of losing respect for Harden, period. Yeah. Like nothing. Daryl Morey is his homie from way back. You know what I mean?
John.
Go over there. I believe it's a political statement. I believe it's a two-pronged political statement. I believe there. I mean, what manager?
It was an absolute on purpose.
What manager or whatever don't want to speak a lie? That's one. Like so, but James Harden, you're a grown man. You have age. You opted into $30 million. Florida State can't get $30 million.
But you know what I'm saying, though, right? When you do that,
you opted into a $30 million contract. Thinking that you up like, dude, they're not gonna give you no more money, James. They can't. They don't trust you.
No, he's looking for time, right? So you're looking at a guy who did this to poke the bear, so to speak. Any man, whoever you are, you don't like being called a liar like that. And with Daryl, because that goes other players hear that, and everybody hears that.
Okay.
And that was a let me make this crazy. So
right. So he wasn't. He quoted. But like, dude. So. But he wasn't happy, and now, like, bro, you the one forced to trade from Brooklyn because his bird rights followed him in Brooklyn. He could have signed $200 million contract with Brooklyn.
Yeah,
man. He
and Kyrie weren't going to exist. Kyrie was killing him in practice, calling wash, and he didn't like that. These guys are as sensitive as a baby bomb. When you got Kyrie calling you wash because he's undressing you every day, you don't like that. These guys got egos, man.
Right. So you force the trade out, get to Philadelphia with your homie Daryl Morey. Daryl Morey said, I'll take care of you. But then the market says, James, we don't trust. Because whatever Clipper deal that he's trying to get to the Clippers, it's not going to happen. And so now you call Daryl Morey a liar all you want. You did it in China. Everybody knows Daryl Morey in China. That's why they fired him in Houston. China is a business partner with the NBA. China, guess what, y'all? And also, don't lose your mind. Right. China's also a business partner with a whole lot of other companies in the United States. But China is a business partner.
Also, players also.
And players as well get checked.
So it was a two-pronged statement. He goes over there and says Daryl Morey. They know who like those people who run that whatever. They know who Daryl Morey is.
He lied to him, John.
Right.
So
It's about effect.
he lied. Okay, you lied with a $30 million check, bro. You better show up to work, man.
No, Daryl Morey lied, man. He said, "Hey, you opt back in, we'll trade you." And now Morey's coming back on his word, saying, "We ain't trading. You got to show up."
Hey, you know what?
They don't want
unless
you can't trade him for Luke Kennard and Vincent Park.
Damn.
You can't trade him for Vincent Park
Unless you have it in writing, Mr. Customer, it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't
There
matter.
are no undertable. The only people who had an under handshake agreement was Joe Smith and the Minnesota Timberwolves fired Kevin McHale as quick as he could find out. When the NBA found out that Joe Smith had signed an undertable agreement to play for them when they had like Joe Smith and Kevin Garnett, it was like crazy to me.
Exactly.
And John Morant,
no, man.
Hey, Brandon was taking over for Reggie tonight, I see.
He's throwing out.
Right.
Hey, and D-Kai, while we on basketball, man, did you watch any FIBA exhibition? They destroyed Puerto Rico.
No, man. I was just on vacation, man. I was down south, and
that's right.
I saw my post. Yeah, I took my chair down there to Montgomery. Did a little bit of work, and everything. But down there, I hung out on Tuscaloosa Road. Hung out at Brian Denny for a little while. A little spot down there on the strip, man. Had a good time. Won't be my last time hanging out down there for sure.
Okay. Well, the homie Halliburton, he had a good show the first 2 days against Puerto Rico.
I get the clips because I guess the team sends us clips of him. So because he's working, right? And I get the clip, I get the emails, man, and it's like Halliburton does it again. I saw the steal, the rebound and the outlet for the dunk. I see his dunk. So yeah, they sent it to us pretty much. They sent them to us as they were playing the highlights for Halliburton, which is I thought somebody said, "Oh man, they're winning with a bunch of no names." When you hear someone says that listen, when you hear someone says that, stop them from talking at that point. Because clearly they don't know. You say they're winning with a bunch of no names, and you said it out loud. And I've seen a lot of people say that. I'm like, clearly, so you're just a Bron fan. No, you're just a Kyrie fan. You're just a KD fan.
No, this coaching staff is very well put together. It's got the names that everybody knows, from Kerr to Spoelstra. You know what I mean? So that experience and that is tough, right? But this is a younger team. Listen, man, ain't nothing ever gonna be as special as Michael Jordan and Larry Bird and Chris Mullin.
No, not
you know what I'm
saying? People say you're old fogies, that's old news.
But like Ben Sherrill, but no, man, they got Ben Sherrill out here playing center. Jerry Jackson, this is his. I mean, they got him playing like a for real stretch, and he's playing defense. And the kids that Dallas whiffed on, and with the New York.
Got something to prove, man.
He's kind of right. He's kind of like the de facto leader of the team, man. So how can I forget Anthony Evans, who's dunking on everybody? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, man, this team's going.
It's a good deal.
They're gonna face some strife because Spain, they got a rematch with Spain, of course, coming, and France and Canada is a little bit better this year because I think Murray from Phoenix is playing for Canada this year. So
but here's the thing, man.
Go ahead, guys.
No, those guys collectively, not as though those other teams, I would say schools, those other teams that you just named are not so much head and shoulders from a talent perspective. These guys collectively can be the best team in the country. I wouldn't be shocked if they won it all, but I wouldn't be shocked if they didn't win it all.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And because it's just from a skill set perspective, you got good guard play, man. We talked about it all the time, man. You got good guard play, you got a chance. I understand you got those high flyers and everything like that, but you got good guard play, man. You got an opportunity.
Okay.
So that's my take on that, man. I don't want to hold up for everybody else.
I got a question for
I
you.
definitely go ahead, but I got you.
Did you hold your own down there in Montgomery?
Dude, hey, let me tell you something, man. Hey, I have my as they say in the WA, I have my steel chair. and I brought out a can of whoop ass, man. No, I'm just kidding. But it was funny, right? Because that picture I posted, that was when we were driving down. I had my wife take the picture. She said, "You were crazy. You're going to get yourself in trouble." I said, "No," and I kept going. So listen, I'll probably watch, in all honesty, I'll probably watch all the videos. I continue to post. Probably I've watched them 500 times. I probably kid you not. And you know, there's so much to unpack. So much to unpack.
Take that hat off.
In the South. I mean, too much.
Throw it. Hey, D-Cot, you get a chance, watch that Manziel documentary on Netflix.
Yeah, I heard you talking about that.
So good.
I'm home the rest of this week. So I'll be home working. I'll probably kick it in tomorrow because I'll be working. But I can watch it too. But again, appreciate you guys as always, man. And but Brandon, all I'll say is before we get off the phone, man.
Hey man, does Kansas got an oil burn for a backer, NIL backer? Like,
don't get me started. I was so disappointed. So disappointed.
I'm kind of disappointed too.
Yeah, I was thinking Mike had him.
Oh boy.
I was hoping that Mike had him. But again, you know, that's okay. That just means someone else will come in and hopefully play well, because I know your co-host there, JB, said last year, let's wait and see when he gets his own players and see what happens. So this year he has his own players. Let's see what happens. Mm-hmm. So I'm interested to see how this all plays out. Hey, are you guys on until 9 tonight?
No, probably 8:15, 8:30 or so tonight.
Okay.
Next week will be a Tuesday show, I think, because I have I leave for my golf trip next week as well, so I'll be gone.
Okay. Hey, listen, we still got to get Reggie Hale. Did you see that? You know, you saw the AR post. Did you see that the coach posted that it was something? I forget. Oh yeah, it was Anthony Richardson's stat line. And I asked Reggie. I said, "Are you posted this too?" And he didn't. And he said some not so nice.
Man, Reggie, he took that little personal, man. He took that little personal.
I think he paid off those people to say he had an eagle, his first eagle. I think he paid those people off.
I've known him too long.
He said, "You
believe it? There's no way."
He told me I need to worry about Ball State football and don't worry about Colts football. I'm like, dude, I worry about them all. I watch them all. Do you know who called the Crossroads Sports Channel?
Yeah,
that's
like the Ball State show.
I'm gonna give you guys some insight. When he says worry about your own team, that means he's got nothing else to say. And that's it. You know how in the
game, how they be saying that to himself after every week on Facebook when he starts trolling these other teams? Worry about his own team?
And listen, I'm saying this, and this is what he's going to say. I'll always listen. He'll say, "Wait a minute, you're going to have your chance too." Because every year the coach the same thing, right? And even my Pacers, I'll admit that. Wait, you're going to get your chance to get trolled on. And every year, Notre Dame, same thing, right? It's, you know, after their season's done and the heat dies down, then 3-4 weeks later, after other teams, good teams lose, then he wants to troll. So his team's been on vacation for a month and a half. So those are two things coming. You're going to get your turn and worry about your own teams. Don't talk about a go-to move. Hey, he is James Harden going to his left. Mm-hmm. Going to a. But I give him that. But hey, there's a chance I probably will be at one or maybe both of the in season because everybody's talking about it. I think he's got an opportunity to get some extra. I think there's not a lot of attention on it, so I'll let you guys know about that too.
All right, sounds good. Roll Tide.
No.
He said Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Bye, D-Cot.
All right, let's go.
All right, D-Cop, my guy. Let's bring our guy on. What's going on, Nas?
Yo.
How are you?
What's going on, fellas?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm all right, man. How you guys doing?
Can't complain, my man, on a Tuesday night. I got Hard Knocks coming on later on. I'm going to watch that. And, I'm ready for football to be back, college and pro.
I'm right with you on that. Let's get it. We got Hard Knocks. Hopefully, we got Winning Time coming up sometime soon, too.
Yep.
So I need to see that season as well.
Yeah.
But, man, I got to talk to y'all about this Harden thing, man.
Yo, here we go. I love it. John, this is your man for Harden.
Are y'all done with it, or y'all want to do a little more?
Keep going. Let's go. Let's talk about it.
No, you might have different perspectives. Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
this might be the greatest performance ever by Jim Harden. The great Jim Harden, who has figured out ways off teams in unimaginable, like the fat suit conspiracy and all the other stuff he's done. I don't think anything will ever top this. Like this dude, this one was a masterclass. First of all, we're in China and we're using the name Daryl Morey already. That's one up on James Harden, understanding the situation. Second thing, by alluding to being lied to, you are setting the stage for Adam Silver to have to say, wait a minute, did you guys make a promise to him under the table? We already got your 2 picks for tampering in that deal with P.J. Tucker and Daniel House. Do we need to step in here again? So you're raising that already. Then we have the specter of, again, in James Harden's mind, I made you. You were the Sloan Analytics guy. Some people listened to you, some people didn't. But I was the test case to prove that what you said worked. I'm the guy who made you. That's why you have the painting of me in your house. And after all said and done, the promise is made. You won't give me the 5-year deal that I was supposed to get? Yeah, I'm going to score third. So I'm not so mad at James Harden on this. Now, does he have the market to pull it off? Probably not. He's probably going to have to get even worse and make this so untenable for them that they ended up trading him for spare parts and just kind of taking the L on it, and which Daryl Morey is, he's convinced he's not going to do. But I don't think he's ready for what Harden is willing to do to get out. So this is going to be an interesting little storyline for the NBA. But ultimately, Jim Harden wins because you've got Embiid, whose clicker is ticking at this point. He's getting up there in age. You have to make the run with Embiid for the back half of his career if we're not already in it. And to do so, you've got to get this guy out of there and figure out what you want to do. So again, the crazy guy.
Those fans is going to be like super fickle.
Yeah, man.
Those fans are super fickle.
Yes, they are.
Man. I don't know how you win this by bringing him to camp and kind of stare down the rest of the league like you did with the Ben Simmons situation. I think this one is a little different just because of how ugly Harden is willing to make it go. So I just don't really see a win for Morey here.
Right. I don't see where James Harden, like they said, Frank, what's his name out there? He used to come
Lawrence Frank.
Yeah,
Lawrence Frank. Thank you. Former Ike Bloomington graduate. So like he stays, he went from coach. He was your general manager when the Nets was in Brooklyn, New Jersey or whatever. Now he running things out here with the Clippers, man. So that's interesting. I just don't know where James Harden really fits. Like go back to Philadelphia and like the $200 million is off the table. It's gone. Whatever, that's gone. And I know that's like, that's easy for me to say because I never, it wasn't in front of me. So like $200 million is gone. Right. So like whatever, like this has been the best versions of James Harden that we've seen in quite some time. So he's not happy because of the money, or he's not happy because it has to be. It can be happy because like who he's playing with, because like playing with Joel Embiid is the best version that we've seen since the MVP years.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it has to be money. It has to be the deal. He feels he was promised something, and I actually believe him. I think Daryl sold him on that, which is why he took that pay cut to fill out that roster. And to me, the Clippers are the only real reasonable spot because you're opening that new building. You bought half of Inglewood. You got 2 guys who may possibly not ever be able to play a season without being load managed in Kawhi and Paul. So for that, bringing Harden home to LA, I think there's a win there, but ultimately they're still trying to, send him the short deal, I guess, instead of something that'll make Morey want to make the deal.
Right.
But sometimes Morey has Danny Ainge to be where he has to win the trade, when sometimes that's not necessary, man. Like, just get a deal done.
I also looked up his contract while we were talking. You realize also, on top of his contract, if he does get traded, he also has a 15% trade bonus.
So
So he wants to get traded at this
Yes.
point, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you're right. I don't know where. I mean, between the Clippers, I don't think Phoenix wants to deal with that headache, even though they're kind of starting fresh with Vogel and whatnot out there with Booker and them. But they got rid of the Chris Paul bad contract. You don't get rid of the Chris Paul contract for a bad James Harden contract. I just don't think that makes sense
but
at all.
if you don't like the Clippers deal, you're really not going to like the Phoenix deal.
Yeah.
Because they don't have nothing but spare parts left to move. So
It would not shock me if somehow the Golden State Warriors decide, hey, we got $72 million right here. Let's just throw it to James Harden and put him on the team. Like, it seems like they have money just growing out there. But he's 33 years old. Realistically, how much more does he got left in him, Harden?
Well, you just gave me a nightmare with that Golden State scenario. If you put him there, then everything would be fine. I do not need the evil empire to be able to pull off James Harden in the middle of the night. Like,
right.
No, I can't have that.
Right.
But man, that actually works basketball wise though. But who knows, man? This is getting ugly. And it all comes down to, man, if Kyrie had taken that shot, maybe none of this happened.
Right.
Oh,
Kevin Durant 3-pointer put on the line away from the finals, and maybe none of this happened. He had just taken the shot and they got along.
if he had just hit that shot, right? Nah, while we got you on the phone, man, what's the Atlanta Hawks looking like, man? I think the running back they got from Texas, they're gonna use as like a Swiss Army knife. So what is Bijan, right? What is your thoughts on the quarterback, Desmond Ritter? Am I saying his name right? Ritter?
It's Ritter.
Ritter.
You got that okay.
So
somebody who I thought coach too.
Yeah, basically the Falcon fans know as much about that as you do. We've got to see Ritter really as the leader of the team with live bullets. Mm-hmm. So I'm not really expecting much. Maybe he's a game manager. I don't know. I don't even know if he's athletic enough to be the guy who moves around as much as some people are predicting. But Bijan is going to be really good. But I think they are going to manage his touches because they kept Cordell Patterson for another year, and then you got Tyler Algier as another running back. So I think they're going to be careful with Bijan this year as far as decide how many snaps he's going to get. I think that'll be beneficial. But yeah, he's the next level talent, and he is what you want in a running back. And it's also kind of an explanation of why so many veterans are not getting paid. Because if you can draft a guy like Bijan in the top 10, play him for 5 years, franchise him for 2, and then let him walk, that beats any free agent contract you could do for a running back. So they're in a sweet spot right now. This is the time to have him. And yeah, he's really kind of curious like everything's advertised.
Right.
I'm kind of curious what they have defensively. They're playing in the NFC South. So it's a winnable division. Open, right? It's a winnable division.
Interesting.
Some mediocre team is going to win that division, and probably at a bad time when the playoffs start. But Tampa and Atlanta are really young, though, so this could be something to build upon. And they got pieces that you like. Drake London as a wide receiver is really good. Kyle Pitts, the tight end, is dynamic. He was underused last year before he got hurt. Maybe they'll use him this year. Don't draft him on your fantasy team. You never know. But yeah, I'm not sure who's going to win that division, man. To me, right now, the front runner looks like the Saints with Derek Carr reclamation project going on. So, the NFC South is not this is like the NFC West a couple of years, years back, where everything was mediocre and you just wanted that one playoff game.
John,
that's kind of what we're doing.
I'm seeing Georgia. Like, Georgia's all over the news lately, man. For a couple of things, you've got the great Atlanta Braves that are just dominating Major League Baseball right now. Dominating. And they're putting a whooping on the Yankee Doodle up here up there in New York. But you've got that. I'm seeing this crazy stuff on the news about we're still dealing with election stuff from 2021. That's mind baffling. And then the biggest news story that I'm seeing sports wise, Nas, is this Croy Bierman and his old lady down there having marital problems and money problems, and it's just Atlanta can't just get out of its own way.
Yeah, I feel bad for Bierman, man. He was a good dude, rotational, defensive player, not a great player, but made some nice bread in the NFL.
She used all his money.
Yeah, God.
She took all his money.
Yeah, he got caught up with a reality star.
Yep.
So, I don't know what to say about that. But he seemed like a really good guy, man. So I definitely didn't want that to happen to him.
Yeah.
As far as the election thing, hey, man.
I think we're still doing.
Remind Brandon.
Have an underling make the call. Don't make the call yourself. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
But then,
hey, how about
moving on to the Braves? If we get some pitching from somewhere, or we get Soroka back or something like that, this is an all-time great team in my opinion. Like I think we walk to the series, and I'm willing to say that in Atlanta, when all the bad luck can happen at any time. I'm willing to say that if we get another pitcher or if Soroka comes back healthy.
Hey, man, I got to ask you.
This ain't Wrigley field. This ain't Wrigley, bro. All bad luck ain't good.
What's your thoughts on this Wander Franco situation, man?
We need more information.
Right? That's what I'm saying.
Supposedly sent some representatives down there, and they're going to try to figure out what's what. Tampa did the right thing by sitting him out until this is fleshed out.
Yeah.
Because there's no justifying any of that if it actually happened. Now, if it didn't, a lot of people are going to owe him an apology.
Oh, yeah.
And it's also an indictment of social media reporting on things and getting things wrong, and tells us that maybe we shouldn't have so many debate shows. Maybe we actually do need outside the lines type shows and sports reporter type shows to where people on a beat can actually work a story and find the truth. And that way, by the time the story comes out, we actually have all the details instead of all this, wondering if things are true. So, there's a lot to it.
Yeah, absolutely. We woke up, yesterday? The news that former Seahawks and Ravens running back Alex Collins passed away at 28. It was tough to see. I believe, what they say? I believe it was like a motorcycle crash. Is that what it was?
Motorcycle accident.
But man, I was talking with one of my buddies. I said he. I remember those years he was kind of running over the Steelers back when he was even with Baltimore. Is just having to. But another life gone way too early. I mean, John meant to say this to you last week's show with Colin Cowherd when he fumbled. Rest in peace, Dwayne Haskins, saying that he'll never win a Super Bowl. Well, no shit. And that list that he gave him on there, it's just wild how they let that stuff happen,
Yeah, didn't Collins went to Arkansas?
Huh?
He went to Arkansas. He went to Arkansas.
Collins,
he had one. I think he had a game against Memphis, man. He killed Memphis too. And I think his last professional, he bounced around a couple of years, but he played in the USFL, played for the Memphis Showboat. But yeah, you gotta be careful. I mean, one of our sponsors is Maverick Cups Motorsports, man. They always stress safety among all things for, folks when you're on motorbikes and even folks, driving. You gotta be aware. Bikes go just as fast as cars, but guess what? They don't have,
right.
All the, they're not cars, man. So man.
Right.
Rest in peace. Rest in peace, for sure.
Rest in peace, Alex Collins. But let me say this real quick. This is also the power of fantasy football, because Alex Collins, famous fantasy football god, waiver wire guy, everybody picked up, or he was expected to do X, Y, and Z in a certain game. So the name was really familiar for a guy, who didn't play as long as other people have. And you saw the outpouring on social media about him. And, it was surprising to see, but then it kind of clicked when you thought about how many people had used him on their team over all these years. And because of, researching and looking at things like that, those guys kind of become your favorites, the guys that save the season and everything. And, they're showing the clip of him in Arkansas where they tried to do the Hail Mary play that they almost pulled off. It's like, it's a really sad, tragic ending to a young life, man.
Yeah.
Salute to Alex Collins and his family.
Yeah, absolutely. Trying to think. Nas, we were talking earlier,
and
you may have heard us.
I think Colin Cowherd doesn't prepare for shows. I think he just rolls out of bed and just does it.
Yep.
So
that's the Jonathan Birdsong philosophy, I think. Roll out of bed and let's just roll.
Never.
Damn, I'm sorry, John. That was a shot. I took an unnecessary shot at you there. But what
That's just a joke. Everybody knows that's sarcasm.
We
Oh, yeah.
know. You're right. We know.
Yeah. Last thing I have, man, they prepped and advertised and tried to hype everything up today for this stupid ass release for the play-in tournament for the NBA. And John was talking about earlier. I just can't get up for it. I'm sorry. I can't. I know what they're trying to do, but for me, it's just I don't give a damn if the Pacers win this in-season tournament or not. I only care about one tournament and one championship, and that's the one that you're holding up the Larry O'Brien trophy. I just can't get into it.
Sir, where is this tournament held?
Home games until they go to Vegas for the semifinals and finals.
Exactly. This is about prop bets. This is about people creating parlays. And I'm sorry, the interest is going to be there when it happens. But of course, like you said, it is kind of a fake trophy. This is Euro Cup stuff that they're used to. We're not used to it. But yeah, I think the gambling is going to drive this, and I think they'll be fine. Like the NBA knows what it is. They know who they're in bed with at this point.
Here's
So,
my thing:
Mhm.
if whoever wins
can't
this, are they going to hang a banner?
Ooh,
What do you mean? Of course. They gave out rings for the rookie.
I mean, the Indianapolis Colts hung up a AFC wildcard finalist banner.
Come on now, man. No, why you gotta bring
in
that?
the league where we saw the Knicks drop confetti for making it to the second round. I believe so.
Oh man.
Oh, shoot.
Come on.
Shots fired.
I'm
shots
just
fired.
saying.
I love it.
Walt Frazier, shout out.
The great Walt Frazier. Salute.
Exactly.
All-time great. But thanks, guys. It's always good to talk with y'all, man. I've been listening to y'all for a while.
Absolutely.
Y'all been killing it tonight. And y'all are getting me through my work day. So I'm going to hang up and listen to y'all for the rest of the show.
Beautiful. Thanks, Nas. Have a great one, buddy.
That's
You
cool.
too.
All right, that's our guy Nas from down the ATL. Great caller, John. Great friend of the program. Love having him on. Listen to his takes, and
Yep.
it's yeah, man. I just can't get into this NBA in-season tournament. I understand also why you're doing it, as well as you want to try some excitement in December and November for the league, which typically is dominated by NFL in the football season. So
Mhm.
I do like the fact that the NBA is pushing back the start of their regular season. They're pushing it back, I think, another week now. So it's going to be more towards like that October 22nd, 23rd,
Mhm.
24th timeline. So I'm okay with that because it was creeping in, second week of October initially.
Yeah, that's too soon. Right. That's
Way too soon. So I do like that fact. Yeah, I would talk Indiana with some Pacers. Somebody asked me if I would talk Pacers, but man, it's the timing's just not right now. It's we got plenty of time to talk Pacers. We've got NFL, we've got college football, John. Our guy Tanner Penrod's going to be rejoining us. We're going to do our college football pick'em. That's going to be starting up here in 2 weeks, where we're going to get the pick'em. I'm already starting to work on a blog for the website. 5 reasons why Caleb Williams will come back and win the Heisman again. Go back to back. Yeah. Why he would go and do that. And as well as I've got some schools that I'm looking at, John, that I want to talk next week on their over-unders for win totals. How they are going to look for next year. There's a few of them. I secretly, I'll give you a little preview. I secretly like Wisconsin over 8.5 wins already. I think that's an easy one. I think Luke Fickell in there, changing that entire style, I think is going to be a big one. I also think Duke under 6.5 wins. Mike Ecklo did a great job last year, but they had a preseason win total of 3 last year. So I think they gonna digress with that. And then I'm not going to the well on Miami, Florida, but they're over under 7.5. I'm drastically looking at that right now to see if that's something I truly believe in. And I think Clemson easily over 10 wins. Easily.
Sure. They bounce back.
Yeah, for sure. John, I saw some people put and I think I tagged you in it on Twitter last night or the night before. They were putting their college football playoff top 4. And if you're watching the Facebook live feed, there was a Hook 'em Horns logo, John. I seen that they have Texas in the top 4. I do like them to win the Big 12 at plus 110. I will say that. And all, but I don't know about them getting that college football playoff top 4. It seems like a little bit of a push, but we'll hit that and more.
Right.
Absolutely. Trying to think if there's anything else last minute I'm thinking of. We talked contracts. We talked Colts. We talked.
We had the National Hall of Fame basketball. Everybody kind of went in.
Yeah,
it was a big group from Dwayne Wade, who had a very emotional speech. He shouted before he brought his dad up there, but that was a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm.
But he shouted out all the teammates from Eddie Jones to oh my goodness, you name them. You know what I'm saying? The guys that he helped him in his basketball journey, man. It was, you know what I'm saying? Everybody kind of goes up. Becky Hammond, my goodness, dude, she gave another impassioned speech. Hell, she was wearing the damn jacket the next she wore an orange jacket to the damn game. You know what I'm saying? The Aces played. So Tony Parker, Dirk Nowitzki, they all went to the National Basketball Hall of Fame, man. It's great. You kind of check some of that. It's all online everywhere. Whether it's YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, or whatnot, you can check. But like, yeah, man, it's some great. Paul Gasol. If you listen to Paul Gasol's speech, man, you'll start tearing up, man. But his not just with the coaching stuff. This is him coming over here to become an American. Coming over to Spain to become an American basketball player. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. European means with the times in Memphis to his times at the end of his career, and you know what I'm saying, to the tail of his career in San Antonio, man. He kind of talked about it all, man. So like, no, I mean, great conversation with that amazing basketball Hall of Fame class that went in this past year.
Speaking of TikTok,
outside of that, man, Brent, I know, man.
Speaking of TikTok, John, I've had people ask for the Crossroads TikTok.
Man, we're taking the time, man.
And we put our video takes on there. We do need to do more videos. I'm going to do more videos on takes and things.
The folks love Brandon. Yeah, Brandon, they love your videos, man. You got to get out there, man.
Look, I went back and looked at the reviews and the views of them. And when I put a video out, I'm not trying to be that guy, but when I put a video out, it gets a lot of traction.
That's E.F. Hutton. This man said he's E.F. Hutton.
Something like that.
When these thousand people listen, I kind of double that. But like, no, man, we haven't also the last couple of weeks. I know we were short on time. We haven't talked about golf, man, and I know the PGA, whatever, live is merging. But like, dude, who had a great weekend that nobody's kind of talked about in like for a long time was Lucas Glover.
Yeah,
he's like a U.S. Open champion. Didn't he win like back in 2005? Maybe. Don't call me a liar.
Yeah,
I'm not
he won the last 2 weeks.
But yeah, man. The last 2 weeks, man, this is the same dude whose wife called him up. Loser. Everybody remembers that, man. But like, no, man, he's back to his winning ways, man. But like I said, last 2 weeks, man, it's been crushing it, man. So,
how about
I wanted to kind of touch on something. Go ahead.
Yeah, 2 things I got for you. One, how about Ball State changing their logo middle of the football field now? They go to that the dancing Charlie Cardinal, like on the football helmet I got from the retro one from Ball State football. So now they got that in the center of the field. It looks sick. And I got to ask you this. I put it out to you on a text message earlier. Who is your 4 Mount Rushmore Intercontinental Champions?
Oh, man. You have been pretty good with Brandon. You
want me to give mine real quick so everybody can recap them? I guess I didn't tell them.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've got Bret Hart,
Great.
Macho Man Randy Savage, Chris Jericho, and who was the other one I had, John? I can't remember it now. Who am I missing?
Then you have Razor Ramon.
Razor Ramon. Yep. Honorable mention. Really, I should have put Mr. Perfect in my honorable mention, but The Miz and Pat Patterson were my 2 honorable mentions. And do you put Gunther? I mean, he's about to break the record.
He's on pretty much. He's about to break the Honky Tonk Man record, man. But as that title has kind of evolved, the people who kind of held it and they kind of did different things. But man, I don't necessarily think Macho Man Randy Savage is in the top 5 anymore. I'm not saying that Mountain Man Ray Savage is still a top 5 wrestler.
Do you
all
put
time, but when
Steamboat?
you put that Intercontinental,
Or do you only have one run?
I feel had one run. I wouldn't necessarily put Steamboat over Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man was an all-time great heel.
Well,
That's why he held the title for so long. Rick Rude would have to be up there. And when you say Kurt Henning's in your honorable mention, me personally, my list has Kurt Hennig in the top 5.
Okay, and here's my thing. Well, that's not. Well, I'm sorry. The Mount Rushmore is only 4 faces, so can't be top 5.
I'm sorry, we're top 4. I'm sorry, top 4. I had Kurt Hennig in the top 4.
Okay.
With Bret Hart.
Bret Hart, Kurt Hennig. Who's your other 2?
I don't know how you don't have Shawn Michaels. Title.
I agree, but he had so many world title runs and WWE championship runs that, and I know Bret Hart did too, but
he might have, but Bret Hart, okay, that's what I have always told you.
I
Bret
agree.
Hart was the better Intercontinental champion.
Whoa.
The world champion.
Whoa.
He was, man. He had better matches. That's why they put the title on. He had better matches as the IC champion.
Yeah, he beat Kurt Hennig twice for the title.
And then when Hulk Hogan finally left, and the Ultimate Warrior was a fizzle, Vince turned to Bret and said, "Hey man, I need you to be the champ."
Yeah,
that's what happened. Because he wasn't gonna put.
Okay, so let me ask you this: if you're gonna put Shawn Michaels on there, and I know it's tough because you got guys that are good Intercontinental champs just as much as they are good WWE champions. You got Bret Hart,
right.
You got Shawn Michaels. You got a little bit think, considering The Rock and Triple H, they had good Intercontinental runs multiple times.
The Rock, Triple H for sure. The Rock World Championship shit, that encompasses pretty much anything he ever did as an IC champ. But yeah, he has, because he's a multiple IC champ. Stone Cold is a multiple. I think he's multiple. Didn't he throw the daggone? No, he threw the world title. No, he threw was the IC title?
No, he threw the Rock's world title in. The Intercontinental title.
But he wasn't in it. But like Brandon, your favorite, Owen Hart, you don't have him in your IC?
No, I got Brett.
You don't.
Not top 4, man. He's not in Mount Rushmore.
You have him in the top 10. But you have him in the top 10, right?
No.
Owen Hart.
No. You want me to give you my 10?
Not Owen Hart? Sure.
I wrote my 10 down. Number 10, I have Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
Number 9, I have Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Not Triple H, but Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Damn, man.
John, he's had 5 reigns. He's had 5 reigns, and
when he had that hog matches, I loved them. I loved them hog matches.
So
loved them.
And that's the difference. I make sure I put Hunter Hearst Helmsley in there. 8th.
I got you.
Not particularly in 8th. Now I think about it, I have him on my list here in that order, but I have Savage. So technically, I guess Savage would be removed from my Mount Rushmore because if he's 8th on my list,
top. Okay.
He held it for over a year though. He had 1 reign for over a year. So
he did.
But
it was real. Yeah, it was real drama filled. Yeah.
I have 7. I have Chris Benoit. He held the title 4 different times.
Okay.
Held the title 4 different times
for
over, was that 1,000 some days total between all 4 runs.
Mm-hmm.
So I got him in there as well. And then let's see on my list. 6, I have Kurt Hennig. 2 reigns. Ricky Steamboat.
Mm-hmm.
He had 1 reign for 65 days, but
it was good.
It was such a good match with him.
He put on classics too. Yep.
Yeah. I never saw this guy wrestle, but he's held the title for almost 2 years, which was he was the first ever Triple Crown champion from what I've read. But I tried to watch more of Pedro Morales.
He was good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I didn't see him, but I got Chris Jericho. Jericho at 3. There's Honky Tonk Man. Honky Tonk Man, and he's.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you put Ultimate Warrior?
See, that's like, even though people like they trade off the Warrior's name.
I put Warrior more for that than the World Champ.
The Warrior had some great IC runs. And then when he merged, like when he beat Hulk Hogan, he was IC champ, and that was like the first ever, like he was the first ever one to hold both belts. And then he, of course, relinquished the title, the IC title. But yeah, he was probably better as the IC champ, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
He was better IC champ.
And I got Bret Hart.
He's number one.
Also another Ramon. I also have Jeff Jarrett. I thought Jeff Jarrett was a solid Intercontinental champion.
Double J was solid.
That's J-E double F. J-A double R-E double T. That's double J. Jeff Jarrett. Ain't I great?
You still there.
Oh, yeah. I still got it. All right, John.
Someone be my baby tonight.
Ooh, okay. The roadie. God dang, classics. I'll let you wrap us, John, and we'll be back, I believe, next week. But we'll put some videos out. We'll be on Twitter. We'll be on Facebook. The conversation never ends there. Thank you to D-Cop for calling. Thank you for our Facebook followers, Justin Powell and Ed Waltersdorf as well for watching. Kelly Birdsong Johnson. Thank you to Nas, our guide, Nas calling in with his knowledge, blessing us with his presence once again. John, I'll let you wrap us.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting people buzzing me right now talking about y'all didn't talk about IndyCar. Yeah, unfortunately, Joseph Newgard is probably out of title contention. He had a big wreck this weekend. He's probably out of title contention, man. But it is what it is. Alex Paul Ward is probably going to be, the points champion this year, unless something crazy happens. But no, man, we had a great show tonight. Episode 265 was another classic, man. How could we do this show without Scott K. Nichols Insurance? How do you go get your personalized quote? If you don't have any homeowners, life insurance, I think you got car insurance. Get your personalized quote today.
Yeah, State Farm was here today, 2 hours ago, doing our quote for our insurance claim.
There you go. So, shout out. So yeah, State Farm is A-money. Again, in our other problems, Mavericks Customer Motorsport, how can we do the show without them? So again, shout out to them. Outside of that, man, great show tonight, man. I'm ecstatic. I'm ready to probably chop it up, see what kind of excerpts and snippets that we might have, to kind of feed throughout the machine for the rest of the year. If you didn't chime in, why didn't you? Get on the Facebook live chat, Crossroads Sports. Get on the Instagram story. Get on us. We're on Threads. We're on Twitter, man. So we are out there. It's just not right. It just does not. The show doesn't stop just because it's Tuesday or Wednesday night, man. It keeps on going, man. So we're no, thanks everybody for watching. Thanks everybody for listening. And like I said, we'll be back next week. Thanks everybody.
Thanks for listening to the Crossroads Sports Radio.